So today we have supposedly I was expecting Toska, but then he just messaged me, "Hey, I'm coming to Singapore." So we had to have you lah. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
So what's going on for you guys? Maybe we can start with you lah. Tomorrowland, man. Recently, that's the whole entire purpose, right? Let's talk some like Tomorrowland.
I have some funny stories from Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
I've like one, like, you know Cyril, right? He recently blew up.
Who?
Cyril.
So,
Yeah,
no,
so
Cyril.
like I know his manager, like, personally, and then we were chatting.
Singaporeans pronounce it as Cyril.
Cyril. Yeah, but I know Cyril and his manager, and I was talking to him. He's a very nice guy. And then 30 minutes later, he broke his leg on the Tomorrowland Hill.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's all. Like, why he's on this like weird cast.
He's always like on an ambulance out of the
Yeah, like the manager was like so pissed. I was like, fuck, like I worked so hard to like get the gig, like he wasn't even meant to be on the lineup that year actually. Then like he got like him at the Absolute Vodka like stage.
Okay.
It's like, admittedly it's a small stage, but still.
Let's go. Take 2 gummies before you take alcohol.
Alright, sure.
And they just fell off. Then
This podcast is sponsored by Revit.
Okay, maybe you can let us know a little bit about how you yourself got involved in Tomorrowland.
That one, honestly, I'm as clueless as you. Like I was in Australia already. Then
so you're starting in Australia.
Yeah. Then my JBL manager was there saying like, "Oh, like Brian, can you hop on a call? I need you to like go through with something." Because I was flying off to do work with JBL. Then
right.
Gold Coast. No, sorry, not Gold Coast. Sydney. Yeah, and then she was like, "Oh, could you read like the banner that like we're designing?" Then she's like, "Oh, congratulations, you're invited to play at Tomorrowland."
What the fuck?
Then I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." But like, who's it for? Like, it's for Megan, right? Like, it's pretty cool. Like, why don't you add it in? Then she's like, "It's for you, you dumbass." And like, I'm recording this. You wasted like so much good promo content. Can you redo it?
I feel like there's a lot of missing parts in the center. So you helped JPL and suddenly you're playing Tomorrowland.
No, like JBL and I, we obviously have like a very, very like long like good relationship, especially since the Martin Garrix JBL Academy, which Jumbo Godo is also on. Very proud of him. And yeah, so like especially with TNS, we were also doing a lot of like partnerships, giveaway stuff. And then they were like,
TNF is his night, Toska and friends.
Yeah, so then they were like, "Oh, do you want to like come and help us as an ambassador?" I was like, "Sure." "Okay, you come to festivals, you just give out free shit." I was like, "Sure." And yeah, then that happened, and I was confused. So it was a pretty good shock, but my parents weren't too happy about it because I have to skip like 1 week of school. And I failed one mod, so like, understandable.
What the hell? Hey, by the way, this one need 500 ml of water. Don't kill yourself.
It's okay.
Too much hydration.
It's okay. I can always be hydrated.
Yeah, so wait, right? I was an engineer, and then I decided to like fuck it, my job, and then I decided to become a broke ass musician, right? And then eventually Zook hired me, right? Just Zook, not even like Tomorrowland, right? My parents were like, "Oh my god, you finally did the right thing, But for you, right, it's like Tomorrowland is not enough for your parents.
Bro, my parents still. My parents are like, "Oh, you know your
why tomorrow? Why procrastinate? Why not Todayland?"
my parents are like, "Bro, you know your brother's like grade 7 in drum." I'm like, "Huh? Okay."
Okay, yeah. Sorry lah. Those are legit instrument DJings.
Then I thought like, "Oh, I'm flying over to Belgium." Oh, okay.
So they cover your trip and
they covered my trip. They paid me. Then
they paid for your fee also.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
It's an actual booking. It's not like a handout. So like, yeah. So
okay, I didn't know that.
It's not just a freebie, I guess.
no, it's definitely not. It was pretty crazy. Like I also have like this card that everyone like talks about. So it's
that's
Wow. Oh, wait, what's that?
so like how like they have the pearls system.
Well, artist card.
So this is like I get everything for free.
It's so cool.
So expensive. Like they loaded 200 euros on like different card.
It's not like QR code, right? Okay,
No,
so
you
so
get this
if you're an artist, you get this. And then
Bro,
you
who's gonna get that next, bro?
Wait, so you scan and
So
then this episode of Revelry podcast is brought to you by Revit, my preferred choice of anti-hangover gummies. These honey lemon flavored gummies are made with all natural ingredients to promote liver health and aids in the dissipation of Asian flush. Take 2 gummies before drinking and another 2 after for maximum effect so as to not be bogged down by hangovers the next day. So click the link in the description and use promo code RevelryFam to enjoy a limited time 15% off Revit gummies purchases. And now back to the show.
Like
Get anything for free.
how like most festivals they don't have currencies. So for us we have a secret. They have the artist village, which is basically like the artist lounge, and it's very crazy. I walked in, got like Dom Dollar at one corner, you got Hardware at one corner, you got Steve Aoki at one corner. Then I'm just sitting down like chilling with my friends. Then A-Log walks by. Then Liu walks by. Then after that, Lost Frequencies is in his sandals just there like, yeah, bro. Like honestly, I'm like tired. And then Armin Van Buuren brings his entire family there. then Tiesto's with like other people just chilling, and it's like very weird because like the dynamic there is that like from my perspective, because I'm tall, I feel like 10 because everyone there has like grey hair, and then like everyone else who's like relatively like older or like around my age, like let's say Chill, who I make good friends with, like we were all like young, and then like the difference, like, you know, like the bigger the stage you were, like the more like grey hair you could see. Like, you know, I'm fine. Like for like us, like say like we still have a long run up to go.
Okay, 1 second. Let me just reposition your mic. Seems like your shirt is like different from his, so I think maybe this way will be better for you. Okay, then you flip the thing. You help him. Okay, this is just 5 minutes in, huh?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay, but that's actually good news, you know. Like, I think a lot of artists like Solomon and stuff, they are saying that as you grow older, right, your knowledge is compound, and then you become a better musician. But then the thing is, like, when you look at Singaporean DJing, right, and what clubs is willing to book, right? Clubs not willing to book old DJs. Not all. They are just willing to book the young ones that can, hey, you can bring how many friends? You know, the typical.
I mean, yeah, I get it. Like,
what are some of your experiences in US? Is it very different?
No, I mean, I think, you know, if you're a promoter or a venue owner, like you want to book people who can draw, you know? So
like
you're either going to book a
right
producer who has a large following because of their music, or you're going to book a DJ who has a large network, or you book a DJ who's a part of a promoter who has a large network. So it's the same. I mean, it's the same globally, right? I mean, they're trying to run it like a business, and so they want to book people who are profitable. You know, I think when it comes to being a producer and making music, that's when it's like it doesn't matter what you look like, really. If your music crushes, it doesn't matter what you look like. If you are an amazing producer and you make good music, like that kind of supersedes like all the superficial stuff.
Right.
You know? So, yeah.
But from my perspective, right, like I'm always hanging out on like the Reddit for DJs. It always seems like everyone can just randomly get a gig somewhere. Whereas in Singapore, it's like really hard to just get one gig somewhere.
Yeah, we were talking about this before we started filming, and I think in the US market, we have so many people, so many towns, so many cities, and even within one city, so many different nightclubs, so many different promoters. And so just by virtue of there being such a high volume, there's a place for a lot more artists. Whereas, you know, a city-state like Singapore, I mean, it's just like you guys were saying before we started filming as well, there's only 4 clubs. It's like that's a very small pool for everyone to be fighting over. Yeah. And then it becomes a popularity contest or, you know, nepotism, like who do you know?
Oh,
yes.
So it's not fair. It's not fair.
Yeah, it's kind of tiring because like if you're not playing at clubs, like there's those are the 3 big clubs, but there are like maybe only 10, 15 smaller like clubs that are like,
they might not even be called clubs. They might be classified as bars already.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, and then the rest is all just filled with like siamtius and like dingy clubs that just hire people to.
Do you know what siamtiu is?
I do because Jasper's explained it to me. It's a Thai disco. You know, they play more like, you know,
if
Thai
not experienced one, you
music.
can go downstairs.
No, the funny thing is I was like asking Thai people, do you know what siamtiu is, Thai disco? They were like, because I went to Thailand and I did a podcast with a bunch of Thai DJs. Then what? And then we came back, we did some AAR, right? After action review, right? We were like, oh yeah, it's not called Thai disco there, it's just called disco.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So it's like if you don't end up in like one of the 10 different clubs that has they're not dingy, you're just working for like those like super dingy clubs with like no names, bars with no names. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the longer I DJ, the more I've been like, you know, promoter and all that, the more I realize like the venue is so important. Like it is all about the venue. Like you need to have a place. You need to have a place where people are allowed to, you know, have like the loud music and the lights and like the whole production, right? And if you don't have that kind of like home, either like a nightclub, and you can't create like a warehouse and do it, then you're screwed, you know? See, and in the US, we have the advantage of both. Like there's plenty of nightclubs to choose from. And then if you also want to go and take a warehouse space and turn it into like a, you know, like a production, you can do that too. So I'm not sure what's like the warehouse scene, or is there any warehouse scene?
So I tried to do this. So basically warehouses in Singapore, hate people doing that.
Right.
So space is such a commodity, it's such a precious commodity
Yeah.
that people are not going to let like some random dude own a giant warehouse space for like a few $100s a month to run an event.
Yeah.
They're charging like thousands just for like a really small space. So there's no way I can rent a warehouse to just run events. Neither are warehouses willing to rent me for just one night,
Right.
just to run my own event. And there's also the whole complicated matter of like your entertainment license and everything.
Right.
So I can't just grab a bunch of speakers, a bunch of friends, lights, go down to a warehouse that has nobody and then just throw an entire rave. The cops are just gonna show up and tell us to get out because you don't have the license. Yeah. And there are a lot of actually empty warehouses in Singapore. It's just that they won't let you do it.
Yeah.
And because exactly what you say, space is such a commodity, right? Meaning everything's very close together. That means the warehouse and surrounded by all HDB flats, like
yes.
Yeah.
or condos or whatever.
Mm.
And that's the reason why Zouk at Chia Kim got like evicted, right? Because like the hotel is complaining, people fighting, people vomiting. And Zouk at Chia Kim, the original mega club of Singapore, right, is like there for like 30 years or something before it's forced to move by the government. Yeah, so everybody is like, even Zouk is facing that problem, right? How can a random warehouse make it, And yeah, well, that's the problem.
Bro, we should open a warehouse in JB, bro.
Subcontract.
Idea, bro. Like, you take on the rental, 1/3 of the price.
Yeah, that's true. I should just rent a warehouse in
Anything
JB,
like you like don't quote me on this. Let's say you break like the rules or some shit. Right? Just rush back for the border.
By JB, he means like Johor Bahru, which is like Malaysia.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good time to get into the warehouse scene globally because everyone is kind of tired of nightclubbing in general. Because
Yeah.
they go to
I agree.
nightclubs, it's expensive to get in, the drinks are expensive. They're trying to sell you bottle service. There's not much of a dance floor. There's all, like that
Oh yeah.
style of club is wildly popular, and it doesn't, especially younger people, they don't like that, and they want to go somewhere that's like cool and underground and hip, and so the warehouse scene in the US is really like blowing up, and it doesn't even have to be a warehouse scene. It could be like a rooftop, like something that's like a non-traditional venue.
Yeah.
So I mean, you got to have a space that allows it, and like the legality is like a thing as well.
The
But
first thing I want to talk about is like, have you seen this very popular IG reel about a DJ?
Possible.
Yeah, about a DJ saying that clubbing is now dying,
Yeah.
and the real club is at YouTube, where people are filming themselves DJing at like.
Oh, is it the Instagram ad one?
Yeah, like some weird location, right? Yeah, you're filming at like circle music basically, or like boiler room.
Bro,
Yeah.
So do you see that like being more and more true, more and more like, like the trend coming forward?
yeah, I definitely do, 100%. I mean, for all the reasons we just talked about, like people want something different, but yeah, I do think I really like the trend of like YouTube or Twitch,
Yeah.
because that's interesting in a different way. It's like that's like, oh, I'm gonna stay home, I'm gonna enjoy music.
Yeah.
I'll
Leonard,
pay
this is
like a
revelry anymore, this is
subscription
Alcoholics
or
Anonymous.
donation and just enjoy it in my home. I got nice speakers, I got my liquor right here.
Yeah.
I mean, like I really leaned into that in 2020, like with the pandemic. Like I've been streaming for 4 years, almost every single week for 4 years.
Damn.
Because it's just, a way for me to reach people and like, have like more content. And I think that's only going to get bigger when you have like things like augmented reality or virtual reality.
Speaking of that, right? Have you heard of like VR chat clubbing? Like clubbing on VR chat?
No, I haven't.
So there has been a recent rise of like clubbing in VR chat,
Yeah.
where they just invite DJs around the world
Yeah.
to come down to VR chat and just DJ,
Yeah.
and people just hang out in there, and it's almost like as if like you are in a club but in a virtual club, and like there are random people. You can always walk up to people to talk,
Yeah.
or you can just talk among yourselves, and then there's a DJ playing at the back, that kind of stuff, and it can run for like 24 hours, 36 hours, because we have DJs from everywhere in the world, so everyone can have their own time slot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I hang out. I've been to a few. You don't need a VR headset to enjoy it, but it's definitely more fun.
Right.
And
Wait, how's it more fun? Like tell me like
Because you can actually interact with people.
I know like tell me like some experiences and
Okay, so
This episode of Revelry Podcast is brought to you by Ripple Hydration, the perfect isotonic recovery drink for active individuals or after a late night out partying and drinking. Unlike many of its competitors, Ripple Hydration is a sugar-free beverage, a healthier option. This in turn prevents an energy spike and crash situation. It comes in a variety of flavors, and my personal favorite is the lemon lime. Each one of the sachets can be mixed with up to 750 ml of water, and again, comparing with similar beverage brands in the market, it is the most value for money. So click the link in the description and get a limited time 15% off all Ripple Hydration beverage purchases. And now, back to the show.
okay, so because I don't have one, I ended up just standing there and just treating the VR chat as a background music. Rather than like going to YouTube, I have someone that's now playing for me. Then while I play my own games or talk to my friends. But people who do have VR headsets, they can essentially interact with other people's avatars. So for example, it's like I can pat your head. I can actually dance. It depends on your level of VR. So there are like motion trackers. You can track just your hands, so it's just a controller and a headset. But you can have everything from like multiple trackers on your elbows, knee, legs, everything. So you can legitimately just walk and like movements, and you can like some people have like so many trackers that they can have full body articulation and they can actually dance on the dance floor. Right.
Man, I remember the time when I was working at Zook, right? And then I was in the day office, and then one of my directors like, hey, come to Capital right now. I'm like, what the hell in a day? Okay, fine, go to Capital. And then right, there's this like guy with like a full VR set with gloves, everything. And then it's like, okay, put everything on. And then I suddenly just entered into a space, right? A virtual Capital, and I can DJ, I can touch the DJM 900 inside and everything. Yeah, that's like maybe the next step, because you're saying that there's increasing amount of people live streaming, right? And people enjoying live streaming more, because I realized that to commit to going out, right, it's too much effort already. And people don't want to go to something that is like, I'm not sure whether it's good or not. So I want to preview this on a live stream first. And then if I build like, I don't know, parasocial relationship or something like that, or 7 points of contact, I see your ads so many times until I get like cycled to go to your actual live event, right? Because the worst thing is you travel like, I don't know, you drive 2 hours to a club and then it's like damn boring.
Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Maybe not in Singapore, maybe in US.
Yeah, Singapore 15 minutes too far for us. Yeah.
No, I think that like what's happening that I've noticed is people just want to stay home in general. They want to watch Netflix. They want to get, their stuff delivered from Amazon. They or order food, grab delivery, whatever it is, right? They're just
hang out with the people they want to hang out.
Yeah, exactly.
They want to see the people that they don't like. You know?
Yeah, everything they want to come to them. They like the convenience, But I think people still want music, obviously, and so I think there's always going to be a market for that.
So you discussed the importance of a venue, right? Then here's the problem: nobody wants to go to the venue anymore. Yeah, the venues will be losing money.
No, it's true.
I think like the main reason, like I see it in Australia as well. Like people ask me more like, "Oh, are you going to like this festival rather than the club?" Because let's say you go to the club, right? You buy a table, like split between each person 40, 50.
So cheap.
Sorry.
Are you sure?
Sorry, no, like, she had a standing table offer for New Year's Eve. Sorry, my bad. Sorry, 80, 90, 100 plus, right, per person.
You know, in Singapore, right, minimum is like 150 per person.
Okay, but you think about 150 per person in Singapore versus a festival experience.
Wow,
with drinks.
150, you got $1 everything, sir.
Exactly. So like if you think about it, I think it also makes a lot of sense, because I not just in Singapore but everywhere else, that let's say you could spend $150 at a club and just buy a table, sit there, look miserable, dance, and then just not talk to anybody. Okay, spend $150 with your friends and like have a really good time, meet a lot of really, really great people. So like I think it's a culture shift away from clubs, because clubs now, like, I mean, obviously your parents will be like, oh, you go to club, you don't do any funny business. I mean, like there's a lot of that, that negative connotations associated.
But festivals, no, festivals good.
No, I mean,
but I think festivals worse.
Like festivals are like adult Disneyland. Like you get what I mean. Like that's
why
why
your parents join you also.
No, genuinely, yeah. Like
I mean, I think you could bring your parents to a festival. I mean, they're not going to be at the front, they're going to be like probably towards the back.
I mean, the Dimitri Vegas like might front row their parents. Yeah, but I think that's actually a great answer from all of you all. It's like clubs have to reevaluate their pricing really, because they are no longer as competitively priced as a festival. And festivals are offering more shit, Yeah, and more festivals coming up, right? Okay, now venue, the ball's in your court. What are you gonna do?
Bro, do you remember the day when like right after COVID, and then like, oh shit, let's everybody go Zoom. Then Zoom, $80 per person.
Oh yeah,
Bucky, 160 per person.
Why don't so expensive?
Yeah, so I was like literally retrenched from Zoom, right? 3 months before it reopened. So it's like, hey guys, sorry, we gotta let you go. So it's like everybody got let go. Literally at one point we had one security only. You know, like at a club you have fucking like hundreds of security until the point where we only left one. So after that, because we cutting costs and shit, so I got retrenched. Then 3 months later, suddenly, hey, clubbing is back. And I'm like, what the fuck? You know, I got retrenched. And then, shit. What were you saying just now? My train of thought just like flew somewhere.
Marquee, pricing.
Yeah, pricing. And then, right, I was talking to some of my ex-colleagues, and then they were saying that, oh, this is like revenge spending pricing methodology or something. And I'm like, what the heck
No,
is
I think it's more like,
Yeah.
you know, like when you buy like an expensive car and shit, and like it's a really shit car. Like they're just charging you that much because they can.
But they know you want to come out, you see. You got like
Yeah, I know. That's why
repressed
they
by
can.
COVID
They can,
for
like-
2 years.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
like I don't want to spend $120. Then someone will be, hey, don't kunyang lah. Like, okay, fine.
It's also inflation too. I mean, like macroeconomic conditions affect clubbing too, right? Like prices go up
Yeah.
everywhere. Clubs have to raise their prices too. I mean, their money doesn't go as far. I think it's just affecting everything, you know. But
Yeah, but you know, at some point it's more like I'm raising my price under the guise of inflation.
yeah, that's true. No, 100%. No, I totally agree. It's not inflation. It's just price gouging across the board.
Yeah.
But it makes me sad, like what's happening with clubs, because I'm a club kid. Like I love going to nightclubs. Like there's nothing like standing in front of a large speaker. It's rattling
I get
your
what you
whole
mean, like,
body.
a
Yeah,
great
yeah,
nightclub
exactly.
on a
Yeah,
good
exactly.
night
That's what I'm
is really
saying.
good.
Like it, you know, I think clubbing needs to get back to its roots, which is good music, you know, just good people and, you know, good DJs. That should really be the only formula. And, you know, ideally cheap drinks, you know, something like that. But, you know, I think there will always be a place for that, you know, but I think people's greed is distorting that, where it's like, oh, I'm going to put a table, I'm going to charge a bunch, and it's making people want to say, hey, I don't want to pay that money. I'm just going to stay home
Yeah.
because I can't afford it, you know?
The consumer always win, man. You
Yeah.
can't beat them. They can just don't show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's why the warehouse model is taking off. Another reason why is because it's like, hey, $10, you know, it's no frills, empty room.
I heard the rental for warehouse in
loudspeakers.
US is quite cheap, you know.
Oh, very cheap, very
Yeah.
cheap. I mean, because there's so many, like they're just sitting empty. It's like not getting any use.
I mean, to be fair, US has a ton of space, so you're
Exactly, yeah. Space is not at a premium at all.
Yeah.
We've got like, you know, open
You could
fields.
throw one in a random field, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So Eldrin did his 20th anniversary at like a dance studio in the middle of like a factory area. So it's like enclosed and it's also not that crowded. And then the rental is like probably close to 5 figures, like maybe 5 to 10Ks that range, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But then I was with one of my friends at Off Track. Off Track is this bar restaurant that plays underground music and they do vinyls and stuff. And then, you know, all the underground heads are always gathered there and their food is like fucking amazing. I think they won like 25 ranking in best 50 bars in Asia or something like this year. So we were just chatting about booking a US warehouse, and then they were quoting me a size that's 3 times, right, of the Eldrin one, right, for like 1,007 only.
Wow.
It's like super cheap. Oh my god. Nothing is possible here, man. That's why I give up, guys. Singaporean DJs just do YouTube, man. Fuck it. Yeah, but when you say the venue is very important, right? I feel you, because right, a venue have to make a very tough decision. Do you like pump up the KPI? Everything is about spend, right? Or you sacrifice a few nights and make a loss, book Peggy Goo back, book like Skrillex just to pump up your name, right? For a couple of years, right? Lose money and then eventually flip it to become a cool venue. Because clubbing in its essence, right, it's not a like the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? It's not an essential thing. It's not like air, water, food, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need clubbing. But then clubbing is a good to have thing. And why people go to club? Because it is cool and they want to feel cool and they want to be with their friends feeling cool together. And if you don't build a cool venue, you know, for what?
It's part of like finding your tribe, finding your place as a person. You know, going to a club, it feels more like, oh, I associate myself as this kind of person. You know, so I would say clubbing can be important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's super important. I mean, for me personally, it's been crucial to my whole identity and my whole like idea of who I am and how I have fun, you know? And it's like, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Once you're fed and you're watered and you're healthy, you want to go celebrate life. You want to go have fun. You know, like life is supposed to be a celebration.
Toska's parents disagree.
No, genuinely, I get all the flashbacks
It's just an Asian parenting lah.
yeah, like I'm thinking of all like wait, can I show you this SMU like Telegram chat?
Oh no, people bringing up tags already.
No, like there are people like legit going like, I got 4.0 for my GPA, am I screwed? I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh yes.
You read. Let's see. GPA 1.33 year 1 sem 1 dropout. Then 48 likes, 6 fires, 2 crying faces, 1 heart. Which school you from? VJC. Bro, did you get a warning from the school? The person called it's like a bit crazy. Like if you look at these chats, right, you can go see it for yourself.
SMU
Oh no,
confessions.
A lot of them they're like a bit like, I don't say like lifeless, but they are lifeless. Because they're like,
I mean, we are an Asian country at the end of the day, right? Academics to us is like life and death.
You should see.
Last week, 2 weeks ago, I was just talking to a lawyer, right? And then he was like making a joke, according to our parents, right, there's only 4 types of Asian children. You are either a doctor, lawyer, engineer, or failure.
that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, you should see. Not sure. Okay, goes back to Reddit again. SG exams. Holy shit, the people there are truly lifeless. They've got nothing better to do than just complain about how they are not 100% optimizing for the maximum GPA, and if you don't have like 2 or 3 internships by summer, they are fucked, and then they need to pump up their GPA. And it's like, why? What? This all does not matter in the end. You know, once you graduate, right, everything doesn't even matter.
So I want to move on to the part, right, where more people are not drinking. That's actually a fact. Because in Singapore, right, we have a collective called Wild Pearl, and they are focused on healthy partying. So they do cold plunge, right, to increase your dopamine so you can party without alcohol. And then they have like special formulated kombuchas or whatever, right, to replace caffeine and alcohol, that kind of thing, you know. So we did a collaboration last week for our radio show, right? So they had this. They had a yellow drink, a blue drink, and a red drink. And then I'm like, okay, the blue drink is like help you get pumped up. Okay, let me drink like some. And then I end up I drink 3 cups, right? Oh my god, I'm like so bloody hyped throughout the whole entire day. It's like basically nootropics, ginger, all the natural ingredients that they formulate to kind of like create that effect that replaces alcohol in essence. So with alcohol sales going down, right? What other ways do you think clubs can sustain themselves? And sorry, before you all continue, right, I want to add on to another fact, right, is that I did a podcast with Mark Lim. He is the Ultra Music Festival director, which does like a lot of stuff that's being thrown at him. But Singaporean, and he's in charge of Miami, Abu Dhabi, and everything. So he's basically saying that in Miami versus Ultra Singapore, when we held it, right, Ultra Singapore made a lot more money from VIP services, whereas in Ultra Miami, the bulk of the sales is from tickets. Yeah. So with that 2 things in mind, right, how would you advise clubs so that they can survive?
I love your friend's idea, and I need to watch that full episode because my girlfriend and I both don't drink. You know, so this is something that we're very passionate about. Is, you know, how can we have our friends have fun sober, and, you know, how can we all do that together? And, you know, the cold plunge thing at the club, fantastic idea. I mean, that's kind of its own little niche.
Not in a club, but like beach club.
Yeah.
I mean, real club, it will be flooding.
Yeah, you couldn't do that, right? Yeah, I mean, this is something I've thought about a lot. Like,
just say that, Mike.
One thing that I think is super important is the feeling of community.
Yes.
You know, and it's like community is now, I think, one of the most important things. Especially with like things like AI, right? Because used to say content is king. Like, oh, I'm going to put out content. I'm going to have like unique videos or unique music or whatever it is. It's like now AI could create content like that.
Oh no!
Right? So it's like the content isn't the unique thing anymore. It's the community that you have around your content. Because like I can make a song, right? Other people can make a song.
Suno can make a song.
But, right, exactly. But it's like
you could AI a song these days.
Yeah, Suno AI, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
But it's not. Why should they listen to your song versus their song? It's like, well, I feel more connected to that person. I feel like, you know, and you see it with musicians all the time. Like, how often do you see a musician blow up and you're like, well, they're okay.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, but they're way more popular. Like how many John Summits? Like we all listen to a lot of house music. Like
Dude,
there's
John
a lot
Summit.
of like people who are just as good as John Summit who don't have a big following. But it's because there's a community of people around John Summit that like look up to him and vibe with him, right? So anyway, going back to the clubs, like you got to create some sort of community around your club, So like things like maybe a membership, like you get perks, something like that, like things that are exclusive. Like I think the concept of a VIP service, I think could become more important in places like the US as, alcohol sales start to decrease. It's like you're going to have to offer more of a unique experience and feel more part of it. And someone who's doing this really well is Insomniac, because they're offering like a subscription and it's like, oh, you're part of the Insomniac crew and you go to every Insomniac event.
Whoa.
And when you're there, like, so, we went to Dream State and Dream State.
Wait, how does that work?
So it's like a card, like it's like Insomniac Pass.
Yearly renewal.
Yeah, something like that. To be honest, I don't know all the details, but I've seen at like Dream State, for example, in SoCal, they had like a specific area for those like pass holders and you could go and like take photos or whatever and feel special. But the key thing is you get to go to all the events for way cheaper than if you paid for every single one.
I think Zug also has it, right? Zug has a membership card.
Yes, at one point, right, because during COVID, as we were retrenching so many people, right, I'm like membership manager. So I'm washing the cups, I'm serving the dinner, I'm doing membership programming. And then we were like fucking around, trying different things. And yes, Zug has like quite a robust membership of different tiers based on your spending per year. And then it resets. And then I think the highest tier is like Kaleidoscope tier, which is like the top 10% of spenders. So you can instantaneously get replaced based on how much somebody spent. So the most epic one is like a baller come and celebrate his like 35th birthday. Okay, 150 Ace of Spades, something like that. And that night was like a legendary night. It's like bottle girls, right? The queue of bottle girls are like coiling around the whole club until right we need to activate our accountant, our cleaner just to hold the bottle because there's so many fucking bottles. And then right, I'm supposed to go to Zouk and meet the guy and get fucked up, right? But then the thing is, I had to do an early set at Future, which is like the hip hop joint, before we go to Zouk main room, right? So I'm DJing halfway, right? That guy came with some bottles like, dude, this is yours now. And then I'm just like buffeting the bottles. Yeah.
That's wild.
That's freaking insane, man. Yeah.
Okay, the question is, does all the bottles eventually get drunk?
No, okay, so at the end of the night, right, he's like, okay, it's my birthday, every table get one bottle. Then he just Ace of Spades everybody. What? Yeah.
What is he
So
doing?
that's one way, man. I mean, like, entrepreneur, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Singapore has one of the highest concentration of billionaires in the city
That's crazy.
for its size. So
it's like, yeah, difficult lah. Yeah, but I think one good initiative that we can have, right, is right now, right, let's just shout out 3 dope clubs, right, that we think is worth supporting. Okay, I'll start with myself. Okay, I think High House and Nova in Singapore, right, is amazing. Because I DJ there, I'm biased. But then the thing is, right, yeah, he's DJing there for New Year's Eve, so let's go, man. Yeah, so why I think it's amazing is because the old Zouk team is there, and then as well as the fact that they care a lot about the culture. Obviously, we need to make money to survive, right? But caring about the music and caring about the culture is an actual thing there, and it's not very common in Singaporean clubs because, like you say, right, the challenges of opening a club in Singapore, too little people to come. So you really have to manage your dollars and cents in a more prudent way, I guess. Yeah. So High House Nova, amazing. And then there's this new space called Rasa Space. So Rasa Space is opened by this collective called Midnight Shift. And then I guess they finally managed to pull together a budget to set up an amazing space, right, with double story. So it's like a club, right, 1 story, but it's super high roof. And it's built by the people that built Berkine.
Oh, nice.
wow.
And in Singapore, man, it's like, whoa, level up, man.
I know that one. Because like some of my fans, they're renting a bit because they're like, oh, you're using Berkine sound system to play 120 BPM max like house music. So like, they're a bit annoyed at that. So like,
I mean,
that's something to consider lah.
I mean, like, the club owner is building for his community. Like you said, community is very important, right? Like, I heard some mixed reviews. People are like, it's just going to be another underground venue. But for me, in my opinion, I'm fine with it because I enjoy both underground and mainstream. You know, as long as it's good, right? We shouldn't
Shouldn't shit on it.
Yeah, shouldn't shit on it. Like you see, Taylor Swift is dope, but Solomon is also dope, man. You know, it's like either way. That's two already. And then the third one that I think deserves a shout out, right, is I would say maybe Modular. I love Modular. So there's this group, right, called Tuck Shop, where they own a series of venues in Singapore, and it's basically underground music focused lah. And then Modular is the only venue, right? There's no set opening days. It's like whenever there's stuff.
Yeah.
So they will book like what's the
They book Skin on Skin.
just the most recent one.
Rebecca.
Yeah, Rebecca. It's like suddenly, okay, Rebecca is coming today. We're like, what? You know, that kind of thing. You know, so they really support this kind of like.
I'm still trying to figure out who they are bringing for. Is it Christmas?
I mean, they suddenly just okay, Inella, $90 ticket, wow, full house. You know, that
But those kind of places excite you, don't you? Like you have to stay on the ball. It's
yeah,
like,
they don't even have an Instagram page. It's like real underground shit. You know.
yeah.
It's like you know that kind.
Wow.
That's amazing. So that's my top three, man. I think they should support.
They do have a Telegram page, Instagram page, but it's just really hard to find it.
No,
I can't
they
remember
have
what is it.
Instagram page, right, for Tuck Shop, which is the collective,
Yeah.
and 4 other venues, not inclusive of Modular. Modular don't have.
Modular is
Instagram.
invisible.
Yeah,
I can't even
invisible,
tag
yeah.
Modular on my post.
Really?
Yeah.
I went there, I don't even know how to go in. And then suddenly, okay, I get in already, I'm lost. And then, right, you need to open like some refrigerator, fridge unit, right? Then you open, right, then the music just boom, boom, boom.
Legit looks like a
I
slaughterhouse.
Like,
I have a really cool story about Modular. Is that I only realized where Modular was only because I met the guy on Carousel.
What are you trying to sell him?
Okay, no, not
Sexual
selling.
services?
No, he was selling me this like simple crossover, cut out the high so that it can pump out to the sub bass, that kind of stuff.
Oh.
So he was selling me this set. So he sent me this address. I go down. It's like, what does this place smell of cigarettes? So I walked in and it's like, what the fuck? Why is there so huge, massive sound system? What is this place? Then I asked, bro, what is this place? Oh, it's Modular. It's like, it's Modular. What the fuck? I'm just here suddenly.
It's a big empty space,
Yeah, it's
and
just a
with
big
like
empty-
huge. Yeah.
The speaker is like the
So-
size of like that table.
Yeah. So
And bigger.
Yeah.
he just ended up just selling me like some audio gears. That's how I discovered where Modular was.
What are some good clubs in SF?
Well, first off, I just want to say it makes me very happy that you have, some new places that are
Yeah,
doing well,
yeah.
and yeah, I'm glad you shouted them out because they deserve support. And
Yeah.
I'm curious, like, what promoters like work at those places, and like, what's the interaction between like the clubs and the promoters, like here in Singapore? Like, do you guys have like promoters?
Promoters are just people who like you contact to buy tables.
Underground venues don't really have promoters because they get collectives to play the nights.
Yeah, so I guess what I mean is
Yeah.
by promoter is collective. Like,
Oh.
yeah, so what do you, like, because when I think of myself as a promoter, I'm saying like I have an artist collective, but I'm also a promotion company, and we do our own shows and we promote those shows and get people
The
to come
culture
out.
is really different here because like
Yeah.
I was also like when I went to Australia for like uni, which
Yeah.
I'm still doing now, like I also realized the promoters, like let's say if I put it in Singapore layman terms, our promoters would be like, let's say Culture, Beans and Beats, myself, all these like events like Entity, all those. So those would be considered promoters,
Okay, yeah, all right.
right? Because these are event organizers.
Yes.
So how their nightclubs operate is basically the nightclub owns the nightclub.
Right.
So instead of they go do the work, they allow other people to like be the middleman for them. So
Yes.
those are the promoters.
Exactly.
But our area of like our Singapore's version of promoters is people who are relatively well connected in the scene, or like not just relatively well connected people who can bring people in to sell stuff.
Because I spoke to Jasper, right? I realized DNS, Dirty Not Sorry, his collective, right, works like, okay, the main group of DNS people, and then you'll subcontract the promoter to like people, right? It's like how many people you bring, and then you get paid based on that, right?
Yes.
But I think Singapore is so small, right? We don't have the subcontractor, so I'm literally like DMing people to come, That's about it.
Yeah. I mean, I think as a promotion company, so yeah, Dirty Not Sorry, we're an artist collective and a promotion company. Artist collective, like, yeah, we've got 30 DJs and like those DJs can bring people.
Yeah.
And we do have a team of promoters as well. But
Yeah.
it's also like, our email list, our text list, our social media following, like, paid or organic content that we're doing. Like, there's no silver bullet. It's like you got to do like all of those things. Like Partyful, that's another one. I don't know if you guys use Partyful here, but it's another one that's big.
It's like bands in town, like that, something like that.
Yeah, Partyful is interesting. You remember Facebook events? I don't know if you guys, the older gentlemen remember the Facebook events. So it's like Facebook events, but for like its own app.
Oh.
Yeah, called Partyful. So it's awesome because you can go and create an event, send a bunch of invites, and people get those invites via text.
Oh.
So you can send like 1,000 text messages to people potentially, and invite them to this event. So that's another really good.
One thing about text, right, is that I don't know. Do you guys do personalized text when you invite people down to the events, or you like mass?
So you want to do like a mixture of both, ideally. But
if it's like VIP,
yeah, I mean, like I'm all about scale. I'm like, how can I scale shit up? So I'm trying to get as many text subscribers that I can. I use Community. I don't know if you guys have heard of Community, community.com.
No.
Singapore only got Telegram.
Yeah. So Community is interesting. It's like, it is a text service, but it has a really good onboarding process. So you text me, like let's say you want to get on a free guest list for a show. I will make you have to text me. So you text me, like we have a 5-year anniversary party coming up. So you text me 5 years. And then it's like, hey, thanks for texting me. Give me your name and your number, put it in my contact book.
Oh, okay, there's an AI chatbot.
Yes, exactly. All right, then I get your name and contact info. Then it's like, oh, here's my contact card. And then they add you in their phone. Now you are a friend. Like you're like, oh, it's Dirty Not Sorry's texting me. There's a little photo, and it's like such a good like onboarding experience. So I've been using that, and we've gotten up to like 1,500 people on it, which isn't a ton, but
that's crazy for like a start.
Exactly. Because I can text, I can send one text blast and potentially get 100 free guest list signups, or sell like 20, 30 tickets or something like that. Yeah. So. And, like I said, there's no silver bullet. Like, you want to have that
everything,
and be doing email and be doing social media and be doing this Partyful stuff. And, like, everything adds up. Posting on different websites. It's, like, all adds up.
Because the conversion for each platform is maybe like 1% or 0.1%.
Yeah. But text is the best.
Yeah.
And that's why Partyful is so good, because it's like, then you have another 1,000 people you can text. I can text this 1,000 people, another 1,000 people.
Do you guys only work primarily with one club?
No, we work with as many clubs as humanly possible.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But how many parties per week?
Try to do at least one.
One a week only?
Yeah, one a week, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, my thought is like, you want to have like a following for your brand. Like, we want to have people who are like, we follow Dirty Not Sorry, and Dirty Not Sorry does parties at every different venue. We don't want to do one venue every single weekend. People will get bored, So if every single weekend we're somewhere different, it kind of like keeps it fresh, and keeps it fresh for us and like the people we work with, So I like to work with as many venues as we can and do like a monthly or a quarterly, something like that. And then, keeps it more new and different over time, And then each venue that you work with, you have like a different partnership. Like this one, it's like, oh, we'll go 50-50 on the headliner and then we'll split it, This one, it's like, we'll pay for the whole headliner and like, we'll do 50% on the door and a bar cut. Like, it's a different, each one is like an account and you have like a different, partnership.
I remember once when you booked Joyride. Holy fuck, dude. How's that deal looking like?
Yeah, so that's crazy. Like,
isn't he like fucking expensive or something?
Yeah, that one is very expensive for sure. Yeah. So, like north of $30,000,
the club got to like subsidize a little bit more.
Yeah, 100%. No, the club paid that 100%, which is nice. I mean, a lot of clubs like that particular club, we tell them who to book. We're like, hey, here's a list of people. So Joyride was on a list.
That club is called SF.
That one's
Temple.
called Temple is one of them, but the one that you're thinking of right now with Joyride was YOLO. Yeah, YOLO nightclub.
Okay, YOLO nightclub.
We're blessed, honestly. Like, you're like, oh, name 3 clubs. I could name so many different clubs that I've like, love working with. I mean, because we're so blessed, like that with the volume of clubs that we have. But you got to think, like, the Bay Area has 7 million people in it.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Bigger than Singapore.
And they all come to San Francisco. So it's like they'll live like within an hour radius of San Francisco, and they'll all come to San Francisco because that's like the mecca, the hotspot.
And I think San Francisco has the most alternate airports. You got Orange County, you got LAX, you got Vegas, you got like freaking everything. Maybe people from Seattle also can come down or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
we've got like in the Bay Area, there's Oakland Airport, San Francisco Airport, and San Jose Airport. And then there's other smaller ones, but those are the main 3. Yeah. Those are all international airports.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, so club owners are more willing to take risk because of the competition that they are potentially facing.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's a crazy industry, right? I mean, I feel like a lot of people are very rich in the Bay Area and they can afford to operate on a loss at times even because they just got, it's similar to what you're saying about being a bunch of billionaires in Singapore. So, millionaires and billionaires
Or
in the
tech
Bay
companies,
Area.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
San Francisco, is it Facebook?
Yeah, everything.
Oh.
Bro, literally everything. Meta,
Fan.
Google,
Oh.
everything like was started there. Apple, the headquarters of Apple is there. Headquarters of Google is there. Headquarters of Facebook is
Oh, this is
there.
like Singapore, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Better than Singapore. There's everything there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just going through all my mind. Yeah, Silicon Valley is there, so everything's there.
Yeah.
Everything got started there. Okay, I have a question. How do you not burn out your fan base? Like you just
Yeah,
host a party
man.
every week.
Yeah, man.
How do you not know that people are like, oh man, they're gonna host a party next week? Never mind, I don't come for this one, I'll go for
Is it
next one.
population?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's like it's kind of like a chicken or egg thing, right? It's like, do I like not throw the party because I'm worried about people not coming, or like do I throw the party and just kind of risk it? I don't know. I try to do a lot of events, but not everyone does amazing. Some do worse than others, but I try and just keep overhead as low as possible. So it's like we throw an event. If no one shows, it's like, well, we didn't really invest much in it anyway. It's like all there's a little bit of profit. So I don't know. I think doing high volume is how you build a high following. Like you have to do volume because every time you do an event, you're booking new DJs potentially. You're getting their fans. And my vision is let's do an event every single weekend. You may not go to every single event, but when you do go out,
I have an event.
you have an event.
Yeah.
And then create the large following where it's like you may not go out every weekend, but someone does.
Whenever you feel like going out, hey, there's a 30 Not Sorry party.
Exactly. I mean, whereas if, we didn't have an event every weekend, it's easy for us to like fall into obscurity. So I try and like pad it out with smaller events or these partnerships. Like the club is going to do the event anyway. Might as well have our name on it, and like book our DJs, give us a cut. And, they need to have an event every weekend, right? The clubs do.
Might as well, that kind of
exactly.
thinking.
Exactly.
So going back to Toska, right? Can you like convert it into like the Singapore POV? Because we have so little people, right? And okay, so for reference, right, his event is always like fucking packed. Yeah, every single event. Have you had a dud event yet?
My last one.
Or is it?
Yeah, bro, but that's cause right, I had a super like hectic like tour schedule. So I had Tipsy, Arc, and then I had Arc and TNF on the same like weekend. Like
Basically
Friday,
mega
Saturday.
clubs in Singapore. Yeah.
And then like people went for Arc instead because they rarely see me at an actual like nightclub because I usually like booking out like venue spaces and shit because I hate the nightclub like shit. But Singapore wise, like I have to really like pace my events. So like when I was doing it, I would do it like let's say 3 months interval. Because
that's
like,
actually a lot of collectives in Singapore, 3 months interval. Yeah.
Because
monthly is like whoa, risky, man.
Like like you can like the first three will be amazing, but then after that, right, people get tired. And I think like the main thing with like nightclubs and like just clubbing in general, like the main issue is that it's not fun anymore. You get what I mean? Like drinking is fun, but you can drink at home and play Spotify or like DJ with your friends. That's why like everything pops out.
How do we get people to come out, man?
Yeah, like you just have to be more interesting. Like clubs, I mean, like I tell.
Do you see Lifehouse? The guy starts stripping and dancing
God,
already.
no.
Are you gonna go that route?
No, definitely not. She will kill me. No, but
Smell of death.
but basically like how like what was I saying? You need to like remember that all of us, regardless of like what we're doing, we're in the entertainment industry. If you're not entertaining, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, man.
People come out and like I tell a lot of DJs, it's like, oh, I want to play this, I want to play that, but like, is it gonna be entertaining for you, entertaining for them? And then that's the reason why you're not getting booked. That's the reason why you're not selling out shows. Like you have to be like objective in a sense, and I think the main lack of objectivity here is just entertaining wise. Because let's say Singapore club culture, right? Like, let's say you pre-drink Clarke Quay. You go there, find someone to bang, then like you go home. Like I'm not even being. I'm like being serious. Like that's just like how clubbing is. Like,
Singapore clubbing.
You don't go to
because we are drug-free country, easy.
Yeah. And like because it's so small as well, and like let's be realistic. Like everyone who goes to club, like regularly, NS boys, people who just got out of JC, people who are having uni parties,
or they break up.
So, or they break up. So like, and we have only so many such like a small population, so people already know you. Hey, like you look like you're from like AZS. Hey, you look like you're from like SGI and all that kind of thingy. So like it's already like segregated, and like the reason why events do better than clubs with the following is because there's this sort of like safe space thingy. So it helps you.
I know everybody.
It helps you be entertained in a sense, because like like in Singapore, there's a lot of judgment for what you do. Like bro, like you can learn TikTok, all like the artists and stuff. I remember there was this one, like I can't remember the band, but there's this Singaporean like band who played in the MRT with Singtel to promote their 5G service, and all there was hate.
All
And
right.
everyone was like,
MRT is like our train system, right?
Right.
To be able to perform in the train system is like such a huge thing because there's so many red tape in
you
Singapore.
have to go
right?
through
Yeah,
police,
exactly,
you have to go
exactly.
through SMRT, you have to go through government.
You get public license, entertainment license, this, that.
Yeah,
The
so
fact
like-
that you can be there is like, whoa!
Yeah, so
but they
like-
get nothing but hate, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of judgment, and like to have like safe spaces like that is like.
I mean,
what helps
recently,
entertainment.
our guy won 3rd place in Olympic bronze medal. And it's like, hey, why not win? Go! You know, that's the reaction that
Oh yeah,
Singaporean
yeah,
have.
yeah, yeah.
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 Nothing is enough for Singaporean, man.
Yeah.
We only kowtow to Taylor Swift. Yeah.
The only 2 collectives I know that host events regularly and manage to have almost like a full house all the time is the anime community.
Yeah.
That's it. So Golden Mix and I think Golden Mix
Coffee
is
mix also, right?
Huh?
Coffee mix.
Golden Mix and Coffee Mix,
Yeah.
Golden
So-
mix and coffee mix.
So these are the only 2 collectives that has been working recently with all the anime cons, hosting after parties, and they've been hosting their own events, and they've been hosting regularly enough that people tend to show up quite often, and when you go down, right, it's always like a really good time, and they don't sell alcohol.
Oh!
I mean, they
shit.
do, but people are not there to get drunk. People are there just to sing.
So how they make money? Cover charge?
Yeah,
Tickets, yeah.
just mostly just
It
cover charge.
actually works.
It actually works. But the thing
Damn.
is that everyone who goes down, right, has to be there to enjoy the music. Like they go down there to listen to anime openings, remixes.
Dress up. Do they cosplay there
Yeah,
as well?
people do cosplay,
Oh, damn.
and people are not there to like just pick up cosplayers. They're just there because like I get to sing my anime song, and that is the only community I know, right, that seems to be thriving in Singapore.
I remember. I think before like your 2nd anniversary, right?
Yeah.
Your 2nd anniversary, then I thought you guys was gonna be late because I was at a party. So I was actually Vidix was actually playing at was it Coffee Mix?
Yeah,
Yeah, he was playing at a Coffee Mix. It was like sound like Ulubai, like it's but like damn, like sound of dubstep at home, like
yeah,
fuck,
exactly.
bro.
And the people can sing to everything, right?
Yeah.
They like know each other and stuff. That
And
is
also not
insane.
only that, like that is the only place, right, where like you legitimately have like a group of introverts just standing at the back, just enjoying themselves. Like they don't know what to do, sure, but they just show up, which is fun, and then they just say, "Oh, I had a good time." Yeah, but it is just a bunch of introverts just standing at the back enjoying themselves. So yeah, introverts can enjoy the club, right? Not in the same way as extroverts, but they're just at the back enjoying themselves. So
I actually rate the anime like
yeah,
scene
exactly.
so much, because like you look at Vilex, you look at all the other like
Yeah.
anime DJs, right? Like the fan base that they have is crazy.
It is.
Like if you think like Taylor Swift like is crazy, right? Like you have to see like anime artists, bro. Like
Yeah, exactly.
oh my god. Then like when you go to the anime cons and stuff, I noticed because like when I was in SPF, I get deployed there, so I see them.
Yeah.
I've never seen like a 25-year-old like guy go crazy over another like 30-year-old guy.
Yeah, exactly.
that much in my life. Like it sounds weird, but like then like when you see that, it's like holy shit, like whoa, like I can't beat that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then add to that. So it's like like if you talk about the clubs that were shout out, right? So like I have more clubs to shout out in Japan than in Singapore.
Why don't you do Japan?
So it's like Mogra. Mogra
is it the cathedral?
No. Cathedral one is Dogen Zaga or something. Cannot remember the name.
You
But
party in a church or something like that.
yeah, it's a church themed
Oh,
club.
that's crazy.
But Mogra is one of the more legendary names because they are the ones that they stream online on Twitch all the time, so you can just watch.
Nice.
There's a lot of like big names that have been there. Like they've invited down a bunch of like legendary DJs from the Japanese scene. They've all gone there. Then also like Porter Robinson was there. Yeah, there's a giant wall of like artists and it's like so many people. And people go there, right? It's like people go there to have fun. They're not there to like drink. I mean, sure, there's bars and stuff. They're famous for their Jaegers. They developed like this machine so that you can drink Jaeger like minus 18 straight. So that was great. But there is a really big community of them, of like Mogra listeners online. So I think for New Year's, right, there was like maybe 7,000.
What?
Yeah, 7,000.
People streaming.
Yeah, watching online on New Year's.
Physically, how many people in the dance floor?
Packed also.
I think it's packed like hell. Like,
Yeah, it's
only 200 people. So there are more people watching online on Mogra than in club itself. And I was there for New Year's this year.
Whoa.
And it took me like 2 hours to get in. Because the queue was like snaking like almost like 200 meters away. Yeah. And when I went there, it's like I met so many other DJs from other countries. So I also met like a bunch of like VR chat DJ who was from San Francisco. They came down to Japan, and then it's like we had fun. And then I talked to so many people. Yeah, it was like really cool. It's a really, really cool place.
Do they have like the anime playing in the background when they
yes,
play the
yes,
opening?
they have.
Oh
They have.
shit!
No, it's
That's like
it's
anime, man.
the VJ there, right? It's like playing like depends on what they're playing but the VJ there is very good.
Okay.
They do have VJs, and it's like you see the posters, like it's not just the DJs, it's like DJs, and then they have like a bunch of VJs at the side, and it's like some people go down because the VJ is really good.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's completely it's like a completely different
world.
Yeah. And I mean, sure, they play anime music, but they also play a lot of like underground, unusual stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So I recommend people go there.
Mogra.
It's Mogra. It's so fun.
What's your club recommendation?
Shit. I don't want to I don't want to like talk about this, bro. Because like
You hate club, anti-clubs.
like genuinely, like a lot of like the people I'm like following know that like I haven't the best experiences with clubs.
Yeah.
And like for me, like personally, it's a bit hard to like trust, like especially let's say like a lot of like your friends suddenly become promoters, then they only talk to you when they want you to spend $400 at your table. That's happened to me before.
Yeah.
Had to bail out one of your guests who had 20k in debt in one of a club before.
What? Again?
One of your guests
One of my guests.
used to have 20k in debt in one of the clubs before. He's a DJ now.
He's a DJ now.
I'm not gonna say who.
Fuck, I got 90 episodes, man. You all slowly figure out.
Yeah,
Let
but-
me know in the comment section.
Like it's a bit like how you say, you know, when you go to a club, I can't speak for like most Singapore clubs now, but from my experience, you go to a club, you hear the same shit being played over and over and over again, regardless of the week, regardless of the day.
Yeah, I agree.
And you got MCs destroying your ear with their screaming. Like it's I try my best to like, you know, cause I'm in the industry. Like it's a bit like bad if I say, oh, I don't like clubs.
Hey, you're the only Gen Z here, I realize.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is the Gen Z perspective.
Shit, wait, how old
Oh
are you?
yeah, 27.
Fuck.
I think we are around the same age.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 33.
34. I'm 35.
Yeah. I'll be 34 in January.
Yeah.
22, bro.
I'm closer to them than
Hey,
to you.
we need the data set
Yeah,
from this guy.
I know,
Then we
we
can
do.
understand how the youngsters think, you know.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
genuinely, it's like tough, like to.
Yeah, I realize most Gen Zs don't like drinking. They don't like to go to the conventional venues. They like, you know, I do pop up at underneath UK subway or something.
But
You know, that
genuinely,
kind.
like the thing is, like the thing, like when you speak about like Zouk in the way that Zouk used to be, right? I'm like, wow, I should go see Zouk. Then I saw Zouk for the first time, like, fuck, this is not what he said at all, bro. Like all my biggest like horror like stories that like have ever like my fucking I don't like.
Have you had any good clubbing
I
experiences?
have had good clubbing
Yeah.
experiences, like you know, like when COVID like just ended, then all the clubs were fresh, so like everyone didn't know what they were doing.
Right.
So then like you could go in there with like no like judgment or whatever. You go to like I think it was Drip his one. I really enjoyed it because it seemed like natural because the music they wanted was there. It's like a big reunion. And it was just fun because it was still relatively cheap. But then, you know, like things started to get like worse and worse and worse because of the introduction of like Semtues. So like clubs are comparing themselves to like Semtues which turn over like 6 digits a
Yeah,
night.
exactly.
So then that's why they moved over to tables, and then tables came in, and then no dancing space, and everything's all like tables and stuff. That's why it's not fun anymore, because like it's like how you say, it's like you play football, right, with a friend,
Yeah.
and then like your friend's only concerned about you paying for his share of the pitch rather than actually playing with him. Yeah, so it's a bit like
Lost the spirit of the game.
Yeah, money is corrupts it. Unfortunately.
Actually, you should see places like Malaysia and Malaysia in KL. That is the final form of money, greed. Because they literally have no dance floor, as many tables as possible, and they only give border surface. So you can't even just enter. You need to already get a table.
I think their mega clubs are like that, right?
Yeah, their mega clubs are like that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I know that some people are trying to do that in Singapore, like the Siam Tiu scene. They are trying to push that because that earns as much money as possible.
Yeah.
Right? It's almost like just a farm of like rich people, alcohol, girls, and just whatever
sultry.
whatever music that makes you want to drink the most.
Yeah,
Right? It's not even to enjoy, it's just to drink.
No, but you can't say that, bro. Like Vina House is good,
Okay, Vina House is good, but people
and
just
Vina House is played all the time at those
Yeah.
places. That's the thing.
but it gets tiring. It gets almost overwhelming because
I've interviewed a guest before, right? And his perspective is like, those clubs with just all tables don't have place for dance floors, right? It's the right business investment because you are making back you have ROI, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then those normal clubs with a huge dance floor, right? Those are like known as pet projects for rich people. Rich people back in the day, the gladiator days, right?
Yeah.
All the emperors will build statues of themselves, right? It serves no purpose, doesn't bring extra cash flow, right? It's clubs in nowadays, So you have a big empty dance floor, whether you make or lose money, it doesn't matter, but it looks cool, so it makes your name look cool. And that's what rich people are building now, So that's his perspective, which I thought it was like pretty interesting, Because all of us, we are supporting artistry, how cool the venue can be, right? But at the end of the day, it's still a financial reality for the people that's opening all these venues. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit. Okay, so you say final form of corruption is in Malaysia, right? Let's talk about DWP, man. So have you heard of DWP? D Jakarta Warehouse Project, but Jakarta DW, right? They spell it with a D, right? So it's DJ, so it's like D Jakarta, then Warehouse Project.
Okay, right.
I think it's like the biggest festival in Asia, right? I think so, yeah.
In Jakarta.
And it's in Jakarta.
Yeah.
And then recently something happened and it's all over the news. Basically, there were some corrupted police that are extorting money from the expats that went to party. And they utilized the reason I suspect you're on drugs. And then if you want me to release you, you need to pay up to like 5,000, 20,000 or something like that. And then some people were not on drugs and then they are like super rich. But some people that were on drugs, right? And they got caught. And then they are just like, what the fuck, I'm just here partying and I'm subjugated to a random urine test out of nowhere. And then it became a very big hoo-ha and everybody's just trying to find someone to blame. And then end up they are blaming the organizers, DWP. Holy shit, man. DWP is just like, oh my god, why is it my fault?
That's awful.
Yeah.
It's corruption.
Yeah, man. But drugs, party, I don't know. It's kind of like synonymous, don't you think, in a way?
Yeah.
I mean, I think they should keep. Okay, like if you're gonna do drugs, right? Keep it on the down low, can.
Yeah.
Like, not everyone does drugs. But you want to do it, it's your own prerogative. Keep it on the down low. Don't be good like advertising to everyone. Hey, I'm doing drugs here. You all want to come down? I'm my dealers here. You come do it. Then word spreads, and then it becomes like my event becomes a drug scene. And it's not nice to me. It's not nice to you. Right? If it gets too much attention, I'm going to get caught by the police. You're going to get caught by the poliase. And then everything shuts down.
What's SF policy on drugs? Because I know Joe Rogan always famously talk about California legalizing weed and all.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's a lot of drug use and it's pretty normalized and...
Oh, damn. It's illegal but normalized.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
It's normalized and it's not penalized at all. If
Singapore is like death penalty, man, here.
No, I mean, in California, weed is legal, right? People can smoke weed legally. They can go buy weed legally from the store. They've decriminalized mushrooms. You can buy mushrooms from the store as well. They've, they're using ketamine for like as an antidepressant. But
damn.
ketamine is incredibly popular. So I mean, ketamine is like the new club drug.
Is it addictive?
I mean, anything that fucks you up is habit forming, right? It can be, but it's not addictive like heroin or crack or something like that, right? It's just like, it's addictive like weed, where you're like, I want to smoke weed every day. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever met someone like that or seen him in the movies, like someone who's a stoner, right?
Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, that's very real. You know, you're not addicted to weed, but you want to smoke weed all the time. You know? But it's very normalized, you know. I mean, people are snorting ketamine in the club openly. Security is not really...
Damn.
You know, I mean, like they'll, you know, kind of look the other way, maybe, you know, unless you're super obvious, you know, but it's super normalized part of the experience. And I don't know. I mean, I don't personally do drugs, you know, and like I'm not.
You don't even drink alcohol.
I don't even drink alcohol anymore, you know. But I don't know. I appreciate that we don't have the like kind of, you know, conservative mindset where it's like, oh, we're gonna arrest these people or the club organizers, you know, things like that. Like it's like that to me seems ridiculous culturally.
Can you imagine you're like just plugging in your XLR, minding your own business,
Yeah,
and then suddenly somebody arrests you?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like I personally, like I think drugs should be legal. I think like especially if you're just doing them for personal use, you're not hurting anybody. There's way bigger problems out there in the world, right? Like that's like it should be the bottom of the list. You're just having fun and doing your own thing. It's not a big deal. Like I don't do it. I don't even condone it. I'm not even encouraging it. But like I don't think it should be, you know, I think it should be treated like a mental illness or like, you know, like, hey, like let's get you some help or whatever. Like if you're an addict. But if you're just having fun, you're just having fun. It's not a big deal, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And I think a very vast difference, right, is like gun legalization in US as compared to Singapore. Singapore is like super safe and to the point it's like boring, you know?
Yeah.
But then how is it like in US when gun is legal? Do you check your guns at the door or something?
Yeah, I would say don't believe the hype as much as like the news like, will tell you. Like the vast majority of, you know, American cities, it's just very safe. Like especially a place like San Francisco. I mean, like you gotta think there's really two Americas. There's like rural America and then there's urban America. Urban America is much more, everyone's a college graduate. Everyone like loves gay people and, you know, whatever, like, you know, everyone like, you know, doesn't have guns. And then you have rural America where it's kind of the opposite. Like everyone, they're not a fan of gay people. They have guns. They didn't go to college, you know? So there's two Americas.
I'm constantly fed YouTube shorts, right, of like, man tries to rob store with shotgun, but instead the shop owner surprised him with his own shotgun.
Yeah. I mean, I'm British. I was born in the UK. Like, I'm very much against guns. I'm anti-gun. I hate guns, you know, and I wish that we didn't have that gun culture that we are in the US. But I mean, in a place like San Francisco, it's incredibly safe. I've never ever seen a gun. I've never heard. There's no shootings. There's nothing like that. It's like, so it's not what you think of in the news.
Okay.
You know?
Awesome.
Yeah. So it's really not like something that's a part of my everyday reality or anything like, you know, where I live. But, you know, occasionally maybe in Oakland, you'll hear about something like someone get robbed at gunpoint or someone gets shot or like, you know, but yeah, luckily San Francisco is very safe.
Yeah, so I think that's the perks of traveling, right? You actually get to see the real life instead of getting force-fed by mainstream media.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, people rag on San Francisco all the time. They use it as a punching bag. They're like, oh, you guys are so liberal and you let people get away with anything and you let crime run rampant, and it's just not true at all. It's just, you know, unfortunately the homelessness is the biggest like, you know, problem, you know, and that like the homeless people do drugs because they're sad
have to get by,
and
right?
homeless.
Yeah.
They just want to feel something. And then because they're doing drugs, then you've got the drug dealers that operate. And so you basically have this like society next to society. Like the normal society, everyone works at a tech company, they're rich, they make a lot of money. Then there's like the secondary society where people are like homeless and doing drugs and buying drugs, and there's drug dealers, and they kind of live next to the regular society. It's very fucked up. Like it is like some like, you know,
the wage gap is insane.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's like some cyberpunk shit. Like you're like, they really just need to like build houses for those people and like give them a place to live. And
I think it's in the middle.
It's sad because they won't do it.
Yeah, I think Singapore government has done a good job to ensure as few homelessness as possible. You know, like for overseas people, right? You talk about Singapore, most people will be like, oh, no homeless people, right? I still do see one or two every few months, you know, but it's super rare. Yeah, and it kind of like makes the normal people feel a little bit less stressful also. Because if you're homeless and then you're desperate, you do a lot of crazy stuff, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, all the crime is like people who are, you know, homeless or poor, and they're like, I'm gonna break into a car window because I see a laptop in there.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, you know, stuff like that. But it's not violent crime. They're not gonna like run up on you and like punch you or something like that. Like it's like they're just gonna break your car window if you leave anything in the car.
Yeah.
You know, but,
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Quite common thing. And okay, the next thing, right, is like I want to talk a little bit about next level clubbing. Okay, because you see your anime community thing, right?
Yeah.
It's clearly beyond the music. It's about people coming there to dress up, you know, like, hey shit, I'm weird, but I don't need to scared. I can go down there because everybody was so weird, you know, that kind of thing. In that
Something like that.
communal way. And then I can still be my ADHD won't be too bad of a problem because there's visuals, you know, it's just not just music, you know. Is DJing, right, slowly drifting away from just the music? Because oftentimes you see people, right, are vibing to like 64 bar transitions, and then the only thing that changed is one hi-hat, everybody, oh, you know, those are people like taking something, right? But for people that are not on drugs or not on alcohol, right, there has to be more stimulant in terms of the performance, right? So that's why I guess that's also why Anima is doing so well. But for your regular club nights, right, how would you like spice things up to keep people that are like trying to be healthy entertained?
Okay, so
Okay, you got idea? Come,
I've got-
give us your idea.
okay, so I think, right, that people don't actually know music.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
okay,
I
so,
agree.
Slushy came to Singapore, right? That was pretty cool. That was really fun for me. But I was the only one there dancing to dubstep.
You made a one-man mosh pit.
Yes, I made a one-man mosh pit, and I was dancing in front of the entire time in front of Slushy, and I was just trying to get everyone to like just dance along with me. So like everyone knows, like, I'm pretty sure in US when you go to like maybe like what is it? I cannot remember what was the dubstep kind, but everyone knows how to like dance to dubstep.
Yeah, headbang.
And also headbang.
Virtual Riot.
Yeah, like Virtual Riot. Yeah, Crank That. Like
Ride the rail.
Yeah, they all know how to ride the rail, but nobody in Singapore does.
Right.
So I'm the only one there just headbanging, and I'm trying to get everyone around me to headbang, and it works. It works. You need someone to know how to dance to get everyone else to dance. But if I wasn't there, nobody knows. So I realized that people don't know how to dance to anything that isn't a 4/4 beat.
There's no community around it.
Yes,
You know,
I
I think
agree.
like the community is so important. You know, you got it like in the Bay Area, for example, there is like a dubstep community, and they all go to the
Please continue
dubstep
1
shows
second
every time there
without
is
me.
one, and
Please
they know how to
continue.
dance,
Yes.
and they dress a certain way as well. Like they'll wear, you know, more candy or like their dubstep shirts or whatever.
Yeah,
it is.
exactly.
You know, like you got to have that like, you know, community vibe. You know, and like that's why the anime events are doing so well.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you play this song, and it's like everyone knows the lyrics, everyone can sing. When there are some songs that are like I won't say like famous, like that's regularly played, and then like everyone knows how to enjoy the music. I think that the problem is that a lot of people don't spend the time to learn music. They want something that's like easily digestible. Like I just go there, I don't even need to know, but I know what's coming up, and that's the way they consume music. They don't actively listen. They don't actively listen to music. Yeah.
Well, one thing I'm curious about is, you know, in the US, in the Bay Area, like there'll be a dubstep crew, right? And it's like they're all DJs who play dubstep, and like they'll, you know, throw their own events, and then they have their own fans, and then they've got the people who just like that music who come, and like it kind of, you know, builds momentum as a crew, you know? Do you guys have anything like that in Singapore, or like where you focus on a specific genre or a specific niche, like a drum and bass crew, or
I
like
would say no. I would say Apparatus. So like hardstyle.
hardstyle, right?
Hardstyle.
Hardstyle's like a really good big genre in Asia, and like a lot of people do it well. And they also do like Mando pop, which is like, you know, like Mandarin pop. And they also remix it hardstyle. So you got like people like Wukong, you got people like Inquisitive like doing this kind of thingy. And like for them, like Apparatus, I'm really proud of them because they actually have like a really good like following. They not only sell tickets to like other festivals, but they bring like the entire like
So
Homeless,
for
I couldn't
reference,
really go.
Wukong and Inquisitive is Singapore's two biggest export.
Yeah.
The highest following DJs. And Apparatus, what he mentioned, is a hardstyle collective in Singapore.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I'd say that's like the only genre that's working so far.
Yeah, hard dance, right, in Singapore, and
Yeah.
hard techno.
Cause
But it's a
uh,
good time for that because
Yeah.
globally, hard
it's-
dance is having a moment.
Yeah.
Like I can tell you from in the U.S. specifically, like hard dance is like blowing up right now.
Really?
Yeah, like anything that's like hard techno, hard dance, like I mean, on TikTok, all like the hyper techno like remixes, stuff like that.
I got you. Yeah.
TikTok remixes, like
Damn.
all of that stuff is really blowing up.
I think
But I thought
restricted-
DNS doing house music most of the time.
We do everything. Like,
Oh, really?
we started 5 years ago, and
Alright.
5 years ago, I was like, I love bass house. Bass house is my favorite thing. And I was like,
remember
I
bass
want to
house.
do bass house. But since then, like my tastes changed. Like during the pandemic, I was like, oh, I love tech house, and then now I'm like, oh, I love techno. I'm more into techno, and now I'm like, okay, I'm getting more into hard dance and stuff like that. So
Damn.
my vision with Dirt Not Sorry is that we're not going to be tied to one specific genre. Like I want us to be like we did a drum and bass party recently.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so we did a drum and bass party. We've done techno. We've done hard techno. Like those are the recent genres we've been doing. We do tech house, obviously.
Do you have like a sub night, like 30 Not Sorry, the sub brand?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we done Speed Demon is like our fast night. So that's like hard dance, hard techno. And then what else? DNBNS was our drum and bass night. So that's like play on DMBNL, which is drum and bass, brownies and lemonade. So we kind of copied them.
Yeah.
DMBNS because it just rolls off the tongue really well.
Drum and bass, brownies, and
Lemonade.
Brownies and
Yeah.
lemonade,
But ours is
collective.
drum and bass.
Oh.
Not sorry.
So like
Do you
Brownies and
know-
Lemonade, they do like what's it called? They did ISOXO, they did.
Do you know why is it called brownies and lemonade? I heard, right, because you party so hard, right, that everything comes out brownies and lemonade. From you, right?
Jesus.
Yeah, that's why it's called that. Yeah, brownies and lemonade. And then there's another one called Space Yacht, right?
Yeah, Space
where
Yacht.
they give out free pizza to the crowd.
Yeah, those are like two of my idols. I'm like really trying to get Dirty Not Sorry to the point where we're like a Space Yacht and a Brownies and Lemonade. That's my like long-term plan.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Damn.
I mean, I remember there used to be like a bigger like dubstep collective.
In Singapore?
Yeah. There was like a dubstep collective before the pandemic, but then it's like they used to run events at Canvas, but then Canvas closed down, and then like the whole crew just disappeared into like various locations. Yeah, I can't remember what was the name, but
One of the coolest one is I've seen those dubstep guys kind of like from different walks of life come back and form like their own like DMB collective. Maybe some of them are originally DMB, but some of them I know them from dubstep. And then they formed this collective called Revision Music in Singapore.
yeah.
And then they
Revision.
recently, I think maybe a couple of months ago, they did a collab with Carhartt, WIP.
Yes.
Wow, that's a huge thing, man. Like Carhartt recognized like a local brand that's like, oh my god, my wildest dream I would never ever imagine.
I've always a feeling that like drum and bass can pop in Singapore, but just for some reason, just people don't seem to.
And your VIP clubs don't like this kind of music. They don't really want to advocate for this kind of music because it advocates like ratchetness, you know. It's like, oh no, we're better than that.
Yeah, but DMB is like
No, actually, this I'll tell you why. Like this one is also a reason why I don't like clubs a lot. It's not the clubs I necessarily have hatred for. It's like usually like the music directors
yeah.
and like the old like DJs who are there controlling like the music scene and stuff. I'm just gonna say you're past your prime, bro. Like legit, like these people
Hey,
are the people.
I want to ask
who are-
another
yeah.
question about Prime later. Yes, you reminded
Yeah,
me.
these
Please.
people are the people who like go on arguments on Instagram and say I'm a Red Bull 2013 scratch champion. Who are you? And arguments in 2024.
Yeah.
So like, there's all these kind of things, and then they'll be like I've when I throw my own events, they're like, oh, why don't you come DJ at what? I can play some DMB. I really want DMB at a place, and then like I can like seriously recall like many chats, not just with myself but through other people as well. And then they go like, oh, like the music director, they don't want us to play that because it's not fit for the club, or it's very like brash, or 2015 is the best time in music. So like, and if you think about it, right, you look back at it, it's just like plays a lot to like the music directors who haven't evolved, just trying to hold on to like what they have left. So like I think that's like the main reason why like our music scene isn't growing. But from what like I've told a lot of my friends, and that's also the reason why I'm like so not acting a lot in the Singapore scene, because there's this 1 to 2 year period of consolidation between people where like people are going to realize, oh, you know, this is not what I want, or people are going to realize that, oh, this is not who I want to be working with. And opportunities are going to come, and when these opportunities come, there's going to be a massive takeover that's going to be coming around. So you can expect people like Beans and Beats, myself, Apparatus, all these new DJs, all these new artists who are much better than me, much bigger than me, who are going to do big things because it's not crowded at the bottom, but it's crowded at the top. And I wouldn't
agree.
say that the people at the top are necessarily the best. There are people who are good, but there's just so many rotten eggs on top that, you know, imagine if they weren't. Like, what Singapore could be is whatever, like, you know, all those plans you've heard about Singapore. Like,
So
it could be
basically
messed
the thing that you have a problem with is OGs that have not adapted to the current scene.
Yes.
But can you maybe magnify it 100 times, right? And go back to the moment when you are in the tent of Tomorrowland, and then you have Solomon and all these people. They also didn't move on, right?
No, the thing is that you have to realize who you are. Like, I know that in Singapore I can play whatever I want, but if I'm overseas, I'm fucking nobody. Like, I can't play whatever I want. If you're gonna compare yourself to Solomon, you have to be like Solomon, for example. Like, you can't say
the best in the world
like
in
it's
that
like it's
category.
Like, it's like, let's say some Singapore startup brand comparing themselves to LV. I make a leather bag, but I'm not. You think like you will buy my $1,000 leather bag versus an LV leather bag? You have to understand where you're coming from, and I feel like there's a lot of like mismatch in like, you know, like who you think you are. It's a lot of ego. It's a lot of like complexes, which is famously a Singaporean like thing. So like that's, I think, where all the problems stem from, and in time all these changes will happen, and when they come, like it's gonna be a massively like
Actually,
changeover.
it's interesting, right? Because you saying that makes me realize that the reason why the anime scene in Singapore, anime music scene in Singapore is like really booming, is thriving, right? It's because the massive like conventions are supporting us, the smaller collectives, because they're like AFA, Anime Festival Asia, is one of the biggest anime conventions is in Southeast Asia, not just Singapore, it's Southeast Asia. We have people all the way from US coming down to here, Japan, everyone, like we have cosplayers from everywhere coming down, right? And like people like Golden Mix is the official after party collective. So anyone who has gone to AFA will see, hey, they're throwing a after party at like Projector, and so it's like, okay, so since I'm in Singapore, I like anime, let me just go to this after party. So it seems like the people who are at the top, like the people who are running the massive events, recognize that these people are
goers of the big event.
Yeah, we are supporting. So there's almost a symbiotic relationship between each other.
Like the shark and the Rimowa, right?
Yeah.
It's like-
So like, okay, Golden Mix gets their full house of people, and then AFA seem like the old man that's cool with down with the cool kids. You know, I think maybe that's why the anime scene is thriving, and everywhere else is just just dying. Like all the clubs are just dying because they cannot relate to the younger, newer scene.
Yeah, I mean, I can say for the San Francisco scene, like we have that for sure. Like we have these, you know, the big clubs will, it's like you said earlier, like they'll take a chance working with you. Like as long as you are legit, like, you know, you have, you know, good brand and, you know, you look like you know what you're doing, like they'll work with you and they'll give you a chance, right? I mean, and they're kind of motivated by the fact that there's so much competition, right? Like, you know, if some of the 3 biggest clubs in San Francisco, right, like 1015 Folsom and the Midway, well, let's just take those 2. Like they compete with each other. You can go to either one. You could go see Dom Dalla here. You could go see Cascade here. It's like, which one do I go with? So they're more willing to say, okay, we'll work with you as a crew. We'll book your DJs to support. You promote the night, you know, and we'll give you a chance. And then they do that with multiple crews, right? Like, so, and there's so many different crews in San Francisco that get those kind of chances and those partnerships. So, you know, it breaks my heart to hear that there are these bad apples like at the top, the rotten eggs at the top, like you say. And I really hope what you say happens and that they do, like, I mean, if people are not coming out and club attendance is dropping, then maybe they will get desperate and they will be like, we need to change things and we need to start, you know, being more flexible.
Yeah.
You know? And then I wanted to say earlier, like drum and bass, like I just saw an article that said drum and bass listenership globally is up 100%.
Yeah, I saw the article. Okay.
Yeah, like drum and bass it's also a genre having a moment, you know, and I think drum and bass is going to be big. I mean, we just did our first drum and bass event. I've never seen so many happy faces like in a crowd, just like having a blast. Like the vibe was so good. Like people were just happy. Like they just love the music.
The major DJ bookers, right, in Singapore just booked Dimensions just over, and then you saw the Revelry Telegram group. Zushan just shared another Thais and Crew Jones or something. THYE, I forget what's the name it is. One of the guys from the trio called Noisia, and they managed to book him for High House.
Wow.
Yeah, damn. So I think coming soon, then it's like, hey, that's our Christmas surprise for you, freaking hell.
Wow.
Yeah, so I guess they see the wave, it's coming, and you know.
I mean, at least High House is seeing the wave.
Yeah. That's why it's one of my 3 clubs.
Nice.
Other clubs are like still booking like fire beats and shit. You know.
I mean, you talk to Andrew, he was like, he's really into trying to figure out what the younger people want.
Yeah.
Right.
So basically, Andrew Ng is like a frequent occurrence in the podcast, and he's like the COO of like this mega conglomerate, you know. And then he's just here drinking alcohol, shooting shit with us, you know.
Nice.
And then he's like, hey, I don't know anything, man. Let's ask the youngsters. That's his philosophy, you know. And I love it. That's amazing.
Sure, this is also quite stupid, right? Like you are like, if you want to know what the younger person wants, right, just hire a younger person, lah. Fuck.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's like the dumbest thing I've heard. You like, let's say you're CEO of a conglomerate, you want to appeal to like the 20-year-olds, but you're hiring a 40, 50-year-old social media manager.
Yeah.
Then like, oh, I'm gonna run Facebook ads. Like, I don't even use Facebook.
Yeah, precisely.
You get what I mean? Like,
Have you heard of this new social media called Blue Sky? I was talking about it. You heard of
oh,
it?
it's the rebrand of Twitter.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
Twitter
God.
clone.
Yeah, I was like talking to some of my American friends. They are like, "Oh, that's like the liberal
Yeah, it
liberal platform, you know."
Yeah, it is.
When Trump took over, then all the liberals left or something like that.
100%.
Yeah, but I don't know. I because I'm Singaporean, right? So I don't give a fuck about democratic and liberals, right?
Yeah.
I just thought that it's a super smart platform because it allows you to have your own what you call that like a server, so you can log in, right? Either as Blue Sky server, or you can have your, like, for example, I have Toska.com. I can log in as Toska.com. So I can like transfer my following, right, from different social media platforms. So like, for example, like I was explaining in the group chat, right? Like one day if Instagram decided that, okay, bird hunting is more profitable now, so everybody should make bird hunting content. If you don't make bird hunting content, right, the algorithm will tank for your DJing content, right?
Yeah.
So after a while, you will probably start incorporating bird hunting shit in your DJing stuff, right? Because you have no choice, you can't boycott Instagram. Because you boycott Instagram to another platform, you have 0 followers on the other platform. Maybe you have 100k on Instagram, so the followers are stuck on Instagram. But for Blue Sky, it's different. Everybody can bring their followers to whatever platform that serves them the best. Similarly to how you can use Gmail or Hotmail, it doesn't matter. You still can email people, you know.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a Blue Sky account. I'm so fed up with Twitter. I mean,
Yeah.
I am American. I'm American. I do care about liberal and Republican.
It
And
affects you in some way.
Twitter is I want Twitter to die. I'm actively pulling content. Like I have a Twitter, we have followings and all that, but I'm not posting on Twitter anymore. I'm like in 2025. I'm canceling. I'm gonna put my account private or something like that, but I'm gonna invest in this Blue Sky, and I love that they're doing that. I think Blue Sky. I mean, Threads is big also in the San Francisco DJ community.
Is it?
Yeah.
Threads is so good. I've met
Yeah.
so many people on Threads, like actual, like genuine people.
But Threads, I saw a report, right? Like Threads viewers are like down by 100% or something like that during, it's like also basically dying lah.
Yeah,
so
but then
all these like
that's-
short form messaging apps are like collapsing. Elon is trying to like save his X,
Yeah.
you know, and then Blue Sky pop up, and then this CEO, literally, right, it's a Chinese CEO, right, and her Chinese name is literally called Lan Tian. It's Blue Sky, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, just nice. They didn't even come out with a name yet. They just hired this person, then work on it, then name it Blue Sky, then just nice, her name is Blue Sky. Yeah, and then she goes on like long form podcast, so you can actually see what kind of person she is, and then it feels like that kind of genuine vibe, you know. Like, you know, the 2024 elections taught us a lot of things, like the power of podcasts and you know, authenticity, rather than everything is scripted and then people don't really know what your intentions are, you know. Yeah. So I'm really in favor of this CEO of like Blue Sky, and then like her vision of like trying to make things better for everybody. She's like so confident of her platform, right? It's like if we're not doing well, you can literally plug your followers and go to another platform. It's okay, yeah. And we create it. You want to use our Blue Sky server, sure. Or you want to use Toska.com, sure. Up to you. You know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
That confident.
I'm leery of Threads because we're already locked into Instagram. Obviously, there's Facebook. Like, I don't want to go spend more time on Meta and do more shit with Meta.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather not fuck with Threads. Like, yeah, I think Threads is. I've met some good people on Threads. There is a great conversation happening on Threads, but I think it makes more sense to have that be a separate application, separate owner.
Yeah.
Because they're not like Threads is always going to be distorted by Instagram and like
Now even WhatsApp as well.
Yeah, right. WhatsApp, like they're always, they've got too many fingers and too many pies. Like I would rather go to like, that's why I was so sad with what happened to Twitter. Like Twitter used to be great, but yeah.
Twitter, you used to be able to share links.
Mm-hmm.
Now when you share links, there's no pop-up. So like, for example, Lex Friedman or Joe Rogan, they are now uploading their full 3-hour podcast as a video on Twitter. You can subscribe to Twitter Premium or something like that, right? And then you can upload and you can monetize like YouTube. Right? Yeah, that's the thing that they're trying to go for. But then every 2 posts you scroll, subscribe to Grok AI, something like that.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I use none of these.
As a Singaporean, right? As a Singaporean, we're always thinking, okay, you know what? Fuck Singaporean audience. They're damn lame. They only listen to Taylor Swift, right? We want to reach US audience. That's what we are always thinking as musicians. So most of the time, that's what Twitter is for. But then now we are like kind of not so sure as well.
Yeah, that I agree. Like, Singapore has like no market for anything. It's always the attempt to try to go overseas as fast as possible. Like, how do I reach like views overseas? Europe, UK, Australia, America. It's all these places. Yeah.
I think YouTube is a smart platform that you're invested in. Like, I think your strategy is great. Like, do the YouTube thing, cut that into short form for Instagram and TikTok and all that. I think that's a fantastic strategy. I think YouTube is only going to get bigger and bigger,
Do you see Beast Games? Holy shit. Okay, I want to talk about YouTube, then I want to segue to Mr. Beast a bit, okay? Yeah. So, YouTube, why I choose YouTube, right? Because I think YouTube is the most fair platform. A platform that you are posting, right, and you can actually earn from it. Whereas all other social media platforms, you are constantly contributing to their website, their company, right? And you get nothing in return, Yeah, you are essentially just getting brand deals from outside the platform. So the platform is technically not benefiting you. Whereas YouTube is the platform is benefiting you, and and from there it creates a sustainable career for a lot of people, including like PewDiePie, Mr. Beast. And I'm so happy that a YouTuber like Mr. Beast, right, make it to this level, right, that it gives smaller creators hope. And also recently, YouTube is boosting smaller creators as well. So if you scroll YouTube, right, they will start to show you like people with like 500 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers, that kind of thing. And you are able to see more of their content. So why I'm saying it's so significant is because Mr. Beast, right, recently signed a infinite budget deal with Amazon Prime, the TV, right, like Netflix, like that, Amazon Prime. So Mr. Beast's channel, right, from back in the days, like I watch paint dry, then he put paint on the wall, then he just watch it dry, that kind of thing. Self-challenge to now he's challenging other people to become a game show. And then he recently did like something that's like 10 times the scale of Squid Game, and with Amazon Prime and with infinite budget. It's like, okay, the winner wins $5 million. There's 2,000 people competing for it. Okay, if you lose, right, we'll give you if you got eliminated in this round, we will give each person $2,000. That's $2 million in the first round already. Okay, so who wants to go out now? And they just give out $2 million like that. Okay, so now next challenge is, okay, we will, can you form groups of 100 people? So it's literally like he's dealing with a festival scale of people, 100. Okay, everybody stand in a square, right? Okay, the game will not end until, right, each group, there's one person give up. And everybody's just like, what? So it's like super huge on steroids, and it's all because of his YouTube career that propelled him towards that trajectory. Banks, brands are sponsoring him. That, hey, today's sponsor is by this whatever Money Online. They just sponsored me $2 million, and then they just give it away like that. Yeah. So I think that's the potential of YouTube, the power of YouTube, and I think DJs should hop on it, because I feel like slowly as AI is taking over, right, music starts to become less of a priority. Last time DJing is beat matching is like so difficult. Now it's like sing button, Even my grandmother can DJ now. you know.
I
And
really
then-
need to learn to use the sync button now.
Yeah, because with the sync button, you can play a guitar at the side and DJ at the same time. So you can do more and more stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And then now production, Suno AI or Gemini or something like that. The AI music production market is so big, right, that I think recently Sony and Universal start to have like a cross collaboration on identifying AIs and how to tell whether it's a real musician or how to tell whether it's AI works. And then they're trying to like prevent that from taking over the market. They will basically like heavily demonetize those kind of content. Yeah, based on their database, they can identify which is real musician, which is like AI generated to protect the creators in a sense. Because if there's no real people making music, all these big companies will just basically fizzle away, right? Yeah, so I think it's increasingly important for an artist to be known as a real person. Like the other day, I was just having a conversation with my girlfriend, and then I was like, hey, maybe I should do this trick or something. Maybe I should do this more technical stuff. It's like, it's not important now. Technical stuff is not important. They need to know who you are first. They need to know who you are as a person. Then they actually care about what you do. Yeah. So I guess maybe the K-pop formula is right, you know. Going to gym is more important than actually practicing piano. Looks over everything, man.
Also, I would say like I've been watching YouTube since I was like 12. That's like almost like 15 years at this point.
Yep.
So I've seen like YouTube just from its very beginning all the way to now.
Yep.
I think the thing that YouTube has over every other platform is that there is nobody in the world that doesn't know YouTube. Everyone just goes to YouTube for everything.
And it's not banned in any country except for Russia, maybe.
And yeah, that's true. But you can get around with VPNs and stuff.
Yep.
So YouTube has this doesn't have the problem of every other website where they need views. In fact, they have too many people at this point. So when you have a population that big of like 7 billion people willing to go to YouTube to watch, right? You are able to have as niche of a group as possible.
Yep.
Right? Like you can post a 2-hour video about what was I
Milking a
watching?
cow.
Okay, I recently watched like a 2-hour video on like the Russian T-14 tank, and there was like 600k views.
What?
Obviously. So sure.
And I think their profit sharing is the most straightforward.
Yes,
you know?
yes, their profit sharing is very straightforward.
The advertisers pay $10. YouTube get $5, you get $5. So straightforward, you know. There's no hidden whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, they literally show you RPM versus CPM.
Yes.
Yeah, total amount of money versus what you get. It's 50% or 45% or something like that. You know? Yeah.
And I mean, okay, YouTube has its ups and downs. Like I've seen like the different
apocalypse.
the apocalypse, the different apocalypse, YouTube Kids, everything. But I think these days, right, YouTube is pretty much the platform that if people can find you, people will follow you. You just need to put out enough videos to the point where someone or like this particular group of niche people were willing to follow you.
Yeah, I think the strategy that you're following, like, you know, make the long form content, put it on YouTube, then cut that into small slices, put that on TikTok and Instagram. Like, that's how people are going to be funneled into the long form content. And then once they're subscribed to you, like you're saying, like you're gonna show up in their algorithm or their subscriptions, and they'll keep watching.
Yeah. Exactly like your live stream thing, you know.
Yeah.
Like maybe driving 2 hours to a venue, I don't know whether is it fun or not. But I'll watch your live stream every week, and then like maybe after 7 weeks, I'm like, okay, I'm sold, man. Let's go to the live event. You know, it's like preview.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's a way. I mean, our main product is our live events. You know, so everything we're doing is trying to drive people to the live events. So the streams are just a way in which to stay in people's minds. You know, and stay people like give us the more content to follow, and then on the stream, I'm like, hey, we're doing a show this Friday or this Saturday. Yeah. You know, and creating that more of a community. You know. Yeah. So,
I mean, actually, to be honest, the only reason why I visited Modular was because I spent all my time on their streams. Like every New Year's for the last 4 years, I was on their stream for New Year's because their New Year's party was insane, and that was the only reason why I went to Japan for New Year's. It's just to visit their New Year's party. Yeah. So you it is not. I would say that your idea does have credibility because it does work. Yeah. It really does work for like
another reason
Modular.
for YouTube, right, is because of COVID. After COVID, I got paranoid already. All the live events shut. What happens if another COVID comes? What's your strategy?
Pivot, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would do the live streams. I love live streaming. I mean, I think it's so fun.
Do you get donations from there?
Yeah, we'll get some subscriptions, you know, so we'll get a little bit, you know, like $200 or $300, you know, a year or something like that. It's a tiny amount of money, but like,
how are you gonna fight people like Jenna, JVNA?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, like the potential, right? You know, if you are like one of the top 10% of DJs who are streaming on the platform, like you are getting like thousands.
You are either
and thousands.
a girl, a good-looking girl, or you are iShow speed.
Yeah.
There's like literally no in between, you know.
Yeah, I mean, during the pandemic, everyone was on Twitch, right? Like all of the big DJs, right? Like everyone went from, you know, being a famous superstar to bedroom DJ. Like
even Chris Lake was like on Twitch, man.
Yeah, but there are so many DJs on Twitch who do really well and who have kind of maintained that. You know, so.
I mean, these days there are a lot of like just celebrity just streaming online. Like shit, I don't know. I cannot remember which rapper was like streaming online.
I know Timberland does a lot of Twitch.
Really?
Yeah. And then he's just going about telling people how he can produce a sound, but Kanye West cannot do it. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Twitch is great, man. I mean, it's way more about community than YouTube, I would argue, because like you have like people watching you, people like subscribing to you. I mean, they're literally giving you money. Like, you know, it's much more like interactive. They're chatting with you in real time. You're responding to them in real time. You know, so I prefer that personally because I like live events. I like that feeling of, you know, performing live and getting feedback in real time, and like, so that's why it has been more attractive to me. You know, and I think that's where I'll continue to go, and I hope it does augment with things like VR and like things like that over time.
Yeah. You should try VR. You should try attending VR.
I need to try it out. I do need to try it out.
Yeah.
It definitely appeals to me.
I know that there are a bunch of like VR DJs in San Francisco.
Yeah.
I just got this funny
You just need to go and find them, I guess.
Yeah.
Like try reach out.
You know, normally, right, people take drugs to see some shit, right? You can set your VR to see some shit without taking drugs.
No, you can set your VR to see anything. You can do anything on there. You know?
Yeah, that's insane, man.
Yeah.
Then we will be like the cartoon, a bunch of fat people just floating around on floating chairs, and then we are just on VR all day. Right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you could put a VR headset on and feel like you're at a festival,
that's it, man.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to the one VR club that just felt like a house party.
Yeah.
That was not bad. It's like just a really nice waterfront lakeside property, and then you just like sit around and like there's a nice fireplace, and like the DJ was like just standing at the kitchen. So that was like a true house party vibe in VR.
I like the idea of augmented reality more than VR because like I don't want to have to put on a headset and disconnect from reality. Like if I could be in my studio or in my house and look around and see like just have normal glasses on and see people standing around, like I want augmented reality to like, you know, Apple Vision Pro style, but like smaller headset. Like that needs to come out quick because that fixes such a big problem of having to like put this giant gear on and like disconnect. Like I don't want to do that. Like I want to like just chill and feel like I'm still in my house, but there's people around or whatever.
Like Tony Stark level. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Like that needs to come out.
That might come out in like maybe in 10 years maybe.
Yeah. I mean, they had the technology with like Google Glass,
you
know, 10 years ago. And then they were like, they just abandoned the project for whatever reason. And I'm really pissed at Apple for being like, oh, we're going to go the Apple Vision Pro route. It's like too big and bulky and, you know, like that's not what people want. People want small and like sleek, you know.
But then the thing is, because I learned programming in my university in degree, they're basically saying that they already have a final product, but they're just putting limiters. So, like for example, the iPhone 10 is already created years ago, but they put limiters, right, so that it performs slower. So they will sell you iPhone 4 this year, sell iPhone 5.
Yeah,
they remove a limiter every year so that they can kind of like upgrade in a sense. So maybe the final VR, right, is just like a thin ass glass, right, that's already invented. But but for the profit's sake, right, they had to make it bulky so that eventually every year they make it thinner and thinner, then people will buy. But the technology is probably done, Who knows, right?
That's another capitalism and money, like distorting like things and making them worse and shittier for everybody. You know?
Yeah, but like you said earlier, everything is chicken and an egg, right?
Yeah.
If there's no capitalistic, then you cannot hire the talent to do this kind of amazing stuff for you.
Right.
Then the amazing stuff wouldn't exist. Then it's just like, yeah. Okay, so before we close off this podcast, right, maybe we can start with Toska. How are you gonna like jumpstart your 2025, man? How are you gonna do things differently? fuck all mainstream clubs, I'm gonna DJ at a park. You know, something like that.
I have no idea, man. I'm just enjoying life now. I'm gonna
Yeah,
try.
my god, you
Break into
go to
Australia.
Australia and study, have your own house and shit
Yeah,
happening.
I'm just genuinely having fun with life because I've done everything that my 17-year-old self wants to do. So now,
Then now what you gonna be? Like a software engineer?
No, just gonna see what 22-year-old me wants to do, and then I'll just work from there.
So it's like wing it.
Not wing it, but we'll just see what happens and what goes.
So are you gonna be a DJ still or what?
Yeah, I'm still gonna DJ.
Are you gonna be more producer focused?
Because like one of the bigger issues that I had was that I was doing everything instead of one specific thing. So now I'm like
Example, like what you mean by that?
So like, especially like like when I play my shows, right?
oh, you're planning the events, you sell the ticket, blah blah.
I mean, it just bleeds into everything. Like, I'm a DJ, I'm an event organizer. Then for music also, I don't produce one specific genre. When I DJ also, I don't DJ one.
people don't know your branding.
Yeah, they just know me because like of who I am, which I think is good, which is why like my family is good. But I think it's that time where like right now I've decided to move into like the hard house, hard tech space, but not like hard tech in the sense that where it's like hard tech. I like a nice blend in between those because there's like a good amount of melodics, a good amount of edgy stuff, but it's also
Is
fast.
it something like odd mob, like 135 BPM tech house, something like that? Right. So it's like in
like
between
Hannah
hard tech.
Lane.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's my
I know
jam,
exactly what you're
man.
talking about. I fucking love that
Yeah.
shit right
Yeah,
now. Like
I'm
hard house, hard
Yeah.
groove, that type of stuff.
I'm going more towards like that because people want faster shit. Yeah, you can tell.
And it's
like,
kind of like Odd Mob, but it's still a little faster than that.
A bit faster.
Yeah.
a bit more
Pickle,
faster.
like some pickle stuff.
Oh yeah, pickle.
Yeah, stuff like that.
And then what about yourself, Niles?
You know, I'm at this point like where as a collective where I feel like we have to like cross the river to do bigger events. Like we're doing lots of smaller events, you know, and I need to like start doing bigger events where like we're spending more money, but we are getting more money. Like because we're kind of stuck in this period where we're doing lots of partnerships with clubs and
Kind of residencies.
yeah, we're doing lots of partnerships with clubs. We do our own shows that are self-produced, but they're smaller. And I want to start booking my own DJs that are 5, 10K, spending all that money myself so that I can
Ripping
make,
all the benefits.
yeah, so I can make 10, 20K, you know? Like right now I'm in these partnerships where like, yeah, we'll work with a club, they'll book a 20, 30K artist, then they keep all, most of the money, we get like a fee, you know? Like I need to, like, because I want to make this sustainable. I'm trying to turn this into a
Feed your
long-term
team as well.
business. Yeah, exactly. And so, we got to figure out how we're going to make more money.
Do you foresee yourself being a logistic company on top of being a promotion company? At first you are like, I manage artists. No, now I'm promoting club
Yeah.
events. And then now I'm a logistic company. It's like more and more things,
I mean, I think like what I see long term is something like Insomniac, where Insomniac does all of that.
You just
right?
want to be the ecosystem.
Yeah,
don't you?
it's like, you're an overarching company and you have your artist management, you have your record label, you have your merch, you have your live events. Like that's where I see us going in the future. But right now I'm trying purposefully not to do too much so that we can do one thing really well. So I'm hyper focusing on live events. So I'm trying to scale that up to the point where, we're making $20,000, $30,000 a year, something like that. Like I'm trying to scale that up to $100,000 a year, and we just have to do bigger events, more money. If I'm spending 10K on an event, making 20, and I do that 10 times a year, that's $100,000.
Yeah.
And so that's where I'm trying to get to, and 2025, I think for us is about trying to cross that river and book those bigger artists. But some of the challenges are that we compete with so many different venues for the same talent. Like if I want to book an Odd Mob, they're getting offers from all these different clubs.
Yeah, in SF you can just randomly get a abstract like that.
Yeah.
For us, it's like abstracts like impossible,
Yeah.
because the
Yeah,
moment they
I wanna
cross
see abstract.
the sea to come to Singapore, then the fees like ×5 or something like that.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them are in LA, like Abstract lives in LA.
He's like probably the next door neighbor.